Najua hutaki huruma, lakini mimi ni babako na nikikuona hivi nasikia uchungu sana.
Ametunyang'anya baba kisha walia haki.
Utatambua lini kwamba umefilisika?
Hebu ondoka ama mimi mwenyewe nije nikuondoe.
Bila msamaha sisi ni wanyama.
Lakini nani wa kumsamehe mwenzake?
Nyote.
Sote? Mimi nimekosea wapi?
Nadhani umeanza kutoka na akili yako Hawa.
Usipomwambia aondoke nitakuzaba makofi.
Hawa. Nimechoka na upuzi wako.
Let it be surprise. I've been waiting for so long. We are the big minds, feeling every nafas.
My name is Alina Faith and I love doing ballet. Don't give up on yourself, just trust yourself. If you give up on yourself, your future will never be as happy as you thought it would be.
Imagine if you woke up one day and you realize that you cannot find your laughter. You cannot laugh.
I participated in the swimming gala in Greenville Schools, Kamulu. My expectation was to be number one, and I was number one. I thank God.
Sema nimesota misinado mara niko wash na oshado wacha kuspread hizo rumors.
The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC, has been named among the top 10 best parastatals in Kenya 2026 in a survey conducted by the Kenya Track Survey. This recognition celebrates state corporations that are transforming lives through effective service delivery, and KBC is proud to be among them. For decades, KBC has remained Kenya's trusted public broadcaster, delivering reliable, accurate, and trustworthy information to citizens across the country. From public communication and civic education to emergency messaging when it matters most, KBC continues to serve the nation with responsibility and integrity. We have expanded local content and indigenous language programming, promoting culture, unity, and national cohesion. We are also embracing the future through digital transformation with online TV, radio streaming, and active social media platforms, bringing KBC closer to you anytime, anywhere. To our loyal viewers and listeners, we say, KBC, informing the nation, connecting Kenya.
And now, hello and a very warm welcome to you from wherever you're watching us from. This is Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1, coming to you live from the broadcasting house in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. So join us for the next 1 hour for news within and, of course, across the country. Now, let's get started. The National Assembly Defense and Foreign Relations Committee has just concluded vetting Mama Ida Odinga for the position of a permanent representative to the United Nations Environment Programme. Our MPs, while seeking to understand Ida's strategy and plans for the position, also expressed confidence in her suitability to represent Kenya at the UN body. Mama Ida committed to using her social capital to mobilize climate financing for Kenya. The Nelson Koech-led committee is now expected to table its report in the House next week for approval or otherwise.
I'm a good mobilizer when it comes to mobilizing for resources. My social capital is quite high. as I do this job, I'll be thinking of Kenya, but I'll also mobilize to make sure that this work is done.
In law, we say res ispa loquita. The facts speak for themselves. Honorable Ida Odinga, aka Mama, is overqualified for this position.
You came in very prepared, as local Kenyans would say, umetuzia uoga na tumenunua. By the way you presented yourself, tumenunua, and we really want to appreciate you.
A nominee coming up with the speeches and photos. This is very impressive. Congratulations.
Have you ever been charged in a court of law or convicted? If yes, please provide further details. Have you ever been adversely mentioned in an investigatory or parliamentary report?
Not at all.
The very uncomfortable question I don't like asking, but I have to ask you. What is your net worth?
My net worth is about 500 million.
And now let's cross over to Meru County, where Meru County Commissioner Jacob Ouma has ordered the immediate removal of camel herders who migrated from Isiolo, Garissa and Marsabit counties, citing a tension between herders and the residents of Igembe. Now, while camel herders cite the prolonged drought as the reason for their relocation, farmers in Igembe have accused them of forcefully invading their private farms to graze their animals, destroying crops and property.
Mtu hawezi kuingia kwa boma ya watu bila kubisha hodi. Kama huko mtu amepewa pesa na watu wanafikiria kwamba anaweza kuleta wanyama ngamia na mbuzi hapa bila mpangilio, hiyo nimesema X.
You know, the government has partnered with local conservancies in insecurity-prone counties in a renewed push to weed out banditry and restore peace in the region. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, speaking in Nanyuki, Laikipia County, during a security and citizen engagement tour, said the collaboration will bolster ongoing operations in hotspot counties. Murkomen noted that the partnership targets the counties of Baringo, Marsabit, Meru, Isiolo and Laikipia, where incidents of banditry have persisted.
The conservancies have rangers who are supported by National Police Service because they are National Police Reservists and who provide security to the conservancies. Some of also these conservancies have equipment and resources that we can be able to leverage on in terms of partnership with the National Police Service officers on the ground. And so today we were coming to see together how we can leverage on that partnership and see how best we can support the National Police Reservists who are not rangers, who are in the community as they partner together on issues of training and also capacity building through technology.
And I was still in Laikipia County. The head of public service, Felix Koskei, has affirmed that the social health insurance SHA is working and urged Kenyans to register to access benefits. I was speaking at Segera Mission in Laikipia North, Laikipia County. Koskei clarified that the government has allocated funds to support registered members and that services at level 1 to 3 health facilities are free upon registration. Koskei added that development projects in water and roads are ongoing, while security operations against bandits in Mukogodo Forest and other affected counties will continue.
Serikali imeweka maanani sana mambo ya security, hasa area kama hizi. Laikipia North, Isiolo, Samburu, Wenda Baringo, na huko kote Northeastern, mahali changamoto iko, serikali imeweka macho yake hapo. So the government is determined to ensure that peace is returned to these disturbed areas. Majangili wale wachache wale wanazunguka wakisumbua watu, wakiiba ng'ombe, wakiua watu, wakiendelea mambo yao, hiyo itakoma. Masomo sahihi imewezesha watoto wachague ile kitu wanapenda. Tuhakikisha kwamba watoto wetu wanaenda shule na tusikataze watoto wetu chenye amechagua kwa sababu anapenda na anajua anaweza. Kama ni mtu mchoraji, ruhusu yeye. Kama ni mtu wa hesabu na sayansi, ruhusu yeye. Kama ni ya jiografia, biology, ruhusu yeye achukue ile kitu yeye mwenyewe amesema anapenda na anasikia anafanya na roho yake ameipenda, so that we can have a society where we have talents that are fully utilized. We have competences that can later on help the country to move forward and even hasten the process and the journey towards the first world.
Leo tuko na SHA. Najua wengine wakakenjeli, wakasema SHA haifanyi. Wangapi wenu mnajua SHA inafanya? Mnajua? Naomba kwa heshima tujisajili, kwa sababu wale naysayers ni wale ambayo wamefaidika na corruption ya NHIF, hawataki hiyo corruption iondoke. Tulisema elimu haitakuwa tena luxury ya watu matajiri. Lakini ndugu zangu, huwezi toa ahadi leo na kutekeleza kesho. Maanake kuna ile inaitwa teething problems, lakini tunaona sasa inalainishwa. Naomba kwa heshima tukue na subira na serikali yetu, tufuate mtaratara polepole, na zaidi ya yote tushike serikali mkono, tumuunge rais mkono, tutembee hii safari pamoja, kwa sababu mimi niko na imani baada ya miaka 10 Kenya itakuwa business as usual.
Now, from Laikipia, we take you straight to Kilifi County, where stakeholders in the resort town of Malindi, Kilifi County, have formed a partnership with police, or rather local police and security personnel, to revive Malindi Against Crime, a project from the 1990s that was created to combat criminal gangs. Now, the resolutions were made during a stakeholder meeting organized by the Progress Welfare Association of Malindi that brought together top security officials and the larger business community.
These young men and women are all over at the beach. They are all over in our homes. They have even gone a step further. They are attacking us during the day. We are asking to partner with the security team. Under our umbrella of MARC, we are ready as the people of Malindi to partner with you. We are the people, we are the community, we are ready.
So it is the responsibility of the community and the resident of Malindi to form the group Malindi Against Crime, but it should be something to combat crime.
We, the National Police Service in Malindi, we join you strength 5. We join you fully in all your endeavors to ensure that Malindi is safe and rife for business again.
And our Kimilili Senior Principal Magistrate Joseph Ndururi has granted the orders sought by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC, allowing EACC to join a land recovery case filed by the local community. The 1.2 acres of land in Kimilili Town, Bungoma County, belongs to the Agricultural Finance Corporation. The move has left the locals in a frenzy as they celebrated a decision that strengthens their resolve to recover the stolen piece of land.
In a major reprieve for the community, the courts have granted EACC's wish to be enjoined in a case filed by the locals to recover public land grabbed by unscrupulous private developers. The 1.2 acres piece of land belonging to the Agriculture Finance Corporation was fraudulently transferred and is currently under construction for commercial purposes. So brazen are the developers that they have even blocked a pathway that leads to a local police station. In its submission, EACC informed the courts that it is investigating how the private developers acquired the government land and has since written to the land registrar restricting any further dealings on the land. The residents now want the EACC to probe what they term runaway grabbing of government land in Bungoma County. Led by officials of the Kimilili Community Land Users Association, Rajab Nalianya and Michael Cheng, the residents complain that private developers have invaded and grabbed the 1.2 acres belonging to AFC, where the grabbers are undertaking commercial development, including the construction of a petrol station, and have blocked public access to the Kimilili police station.
Saa hizi mtu yote mgeni akikuja Kimilili aweze access Kimilili police station. Police station ni mahali ambapo panatakana pawe open. Mtu yote akiwa na shida anakimbia pale, anajua pale kuna signpost ya police station, hapo kuna barabara ya police station ndio lile. Lakini sasa vile imefensiwa hivi uwezi ukaona police station.
The residents also applauded EACC for joining a case filed by the community before the Kimilili law courts, seeking to have the private developer evicted and the land returned to the government.
We wrote a letter to EACC, Bungoma, and we are happy that they have taken over the matter after they expressed their desire to know the details of this particular information. So this particular land, we have decided that it has to get back to the people and for the betterment of the people.
The case has been scheduled for a hearing on 5th of March 2026. Achola Simon, Lunchtime News, Bungoma County.
And now from Bungoma, we take you straight to Nakuru County, where the Kenya National Chambers of Commerce and Industry has attributed rising cases of job loss and unemployment to the increased cost of production, coupled with high taxes. Now, according to the chambers, tens of companies have resorted to job cuts for casual laborers in a bid to remain afloat. I was speaking in Naivasha, Nakuru County, during a career clinic for local youths. Ruth Ndongo, the chairperson of the KNCCI Nakuru chapter, said unemployment, which had affected young people, had also been compounded by the closure of businesses due to high taxes. Ndongo called on the government to support a value addition of products which have the capacity to create more opportunities, while urging the youth to get into entrepreneurship.
The issue of licenses, and especially for those who are doing inter-county trade. But that's a conversation that we've had as Kenya National Chambers from the national level, and we are hoping that it should be addressed anytime soon. But that is one of the things. The other, have a lot of space at the EPZ, but we're not seeing companies coming up just because of also the tax and levies going higher by the day.
We look at the skills gaps that are in existence. So employers are looking for talent that will help them achieve particular outcomes. And so we're able to help them identify the young people who have been assessed and have the skills that they need in order to achieve their business goals.
Brighter Monday imetukaribisha hapa so that we be exposed kwa hii economy ya saa hizi. Watuonyeshe kazi tunaweza pata na kazi sisi vijana tunaweza pata. We as young youths tuko na challenges za kupata makazi huku nje, but Brighter Monday inatupea opportunities huku nje so that we can gain the skill and we know how to navigate hizo skills tuweze kupata hizo makazi.
Now on to politics. A former Kenya Chief Justice and United Green Movement presidential aspirant David Maraga has vowed to put to a permanent end the perennial corruption which has rocked public office since independence if elected president in 2027 general elections. He spoke in Kitui County during a Meet the People tour. Speaking in Mwingi Town, Kitui County, the former Chief Justice David Maraga also urged Kenyans, especially the youth, to register as voters in large numbers to make their desired leadership reforms on the ballot come 2027.
Ile ugonjwa sugu Kenya ni ufisadi, wizi wa mali ya umma, na wananiambia in very very clear terms that they are electing me to go and deal with corruption family.
In Migori County, the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya has raised an alarm on the escalating cases of political intolerance. This as Garissa County Senator Abdikadir Yusuf Haji's bid to capture the Garissa County Governor's seat continues to receive a boost. after the Samawathal community professionals declared their support for his candidature.
The broader aspect of this issue is that devolution encompasses all the families. It's not a constituency-based politics. It is something that is a geographically large area covering the whole county. So basically, as a family, we are going to take him from this level and introduce him and campaign with him.
Elsewhere, Pwani University student leaders have urged youths across the country, including university and college students, to register as voters to participate in the 2027 general polls.
Kwa wale vijana ambao huenda hawajachukua kura, mimi ningependa kuwahimiza kwamba tujitokeze kwa idadi kubwa ili tuweze kuchukua kura, kwa sababu kura ndio itakuwa ni silaha yetu kama vijana ili kuweza kuleta uongozi unaofaa.
Now, residents of Samburu County have raised concerns over the 2024-2025 financial year budget, citing inconsistencies in public expenditure. Now, during a budget consultation forum held in Mararal, they gave the example of conflicting figures of 4.9 million and 49 million shillings for a generator at Archer's Post Sub-County Hospital. They also raised concerns over the lack of medicines and called for transparency, accountability and inclusive public participation. The county governor has since clarified the correct allocation is 4.9 million shillings and attributed the discrepancy to an online error.
Million na watu wanakufa na njaa, wazazi wengine wanastruggle kupeleka watoto shule.
Tunashindwa generator ya Archer's Post, hospitali ya Archer's Post. Tunashindwa, tumeandika pale kwa hard copy 4.9 million. Then tunaikuta sasa tunawekea public participation ni 49 million. Ukweli uko wapi?
Kwa hii public participation tulikuwa tunaomba tuweze kufikisha pale mashinani, sikuwa tu peke yake tunafanya kwa town, ndo tupate kusikia sauti ya kila mwananchi.
We are still receiving comments. Kama kuna error tunatoa. Hiyo kitu ni 4.9 million. Ukiangalia kwa budget ni 4.9 million. Na hiyo ni ya 24-25 performance. Si 49 ni 4.9 million.
Now, a section of residents of Wasini in Lunga Lunga, Kwale County has opposed the nomination of Dr. Abdillahi Sagaf Alawi as the chairperson of the National Land Commission, urging Parliament to reject his nomination. The residents allege that Sagaf is involved in a 3 billion shilling land ownership dispute, which is in court.
Ikiwa listi inabidi ni lazima yende bunge na ikaliwe, basi wabunge wamuulize swali hili. Wewe ni mtu wa Wasini, wewe ni beneficiary ya hiyo ardhi ya Wasini, na wewe ndiye mtoto mkubwa wa Sagafu, leo wataka cheo hiki upewe. Utawatendea haki watu wa Wasini?
Ikiwa leo yeye amechaguliwa ndiye mkubwa wa ardhi, na matatizo ya ardhi yeye ni mmoja katika majukumu hayo, anatukinga na nini?
Now, education stakeholders are calling for reforms that go beyond capitation funding to include strengthening teacher capacity, improving infrastructure, and even exposing learners to real-world environments through early mentorship and job shadowing. Now, educator John Akaranja argues that tackling the country's high youth unemployment requires urgent investment in teacher upskilling, noting that future-ready learners depend on future-ready educators. The renewed push comes as Kenya continues to roll out educational changes under the competency-based education framework, with the experts warning that financing alone will not deliver future-ready graduates.
A lot of governments in Africa do not invest sufficient resources in education. So you find, for example, with the KBC CBE curriculum in Kenya, parents are complaining about the resources required, the amount of input the parent has to bring in. So I would call upon governments to invest in education sufficiently, have bigger budgets in education as much as they have in security and political affairs.
And we cross over to Busia County, where Child Fund Kenya has raised over 1,000 women in Budalangi constituency to help curb rising cases of gender-based violence. The program implemented in Bunyala West, South and Central wards equips women with knowledge on the rights of reporting abuse and protecting children from violations such as child labor and fishing. The local administrator says cases of abuse have declined since the project began 3 years ago, with the initiative also promoting family involvement, including men's participation in child upbringing.
Mambo ya child labor, eneo hili tuko karibu na bahari, tuko na beaches. Mambo ya uvuo, bila mnajua mambo ya uvuvi unafanyika hapo, na tumekuwa na changamoto ya watoto kwenda huko kufanya kazi. Kupitia kwa mafunzo haya tunaona watoto kwa beaches zetu kwa wingi wametolewa.
Katika mradi wa Child Fund umeweza kusaidia community kujua kwamba pia hao wanaume pia hao wanaweza fanya nini, wanaweza jihusisha katika mambo ya ulezi.
Kuna kasumba ya kwamba wakati unashirikiana na mkeo amekukalia kwenda, ukionekana umeenda kufua nguo ama wamekuachia mtoto, kuna yale mambo kuwa huyo amekaliwa, lakini sio hivyo.
Now, the national government has handed over the renovated Narumoro and Karatina level 4 maternity facilities to the Nyeri County government to strengthen maternal and even child health care services. The renovation was undertaken jointly by the national government through VAMID and the county government for 400 million shillings. Now, speaking during the handover ceremony, the Principal Secretary for Medical Services, Dr. Auma Oluge, said that the facilities align with the government's plan to improve health infrastructure and reduce maternal and infant mortality. On his part, Nyeri Governor Dr. Mutahi Kahiga described the project as a major step towards safe maternal deliveries and enhanced health care in the county.
We are now headed to Narumoro and Karatina, where we are going to launch the two projects. There is a project that has been running in Narumoro that we've worked very, very closely with VAMED through the Ministry of Health in terms of improvement of maternal health, where they have been able to refurbish our entire maternity unit in both hospitals.
We are handing over two facilities that have been constructed by the national government through VAMED and of course collaborating with the county governments. These are initiatives of the Ministry of Health. These are initiatives that are part of health infrastructure development, and we have done these projects at a cost of around 400 million.
And now from Nyeri, we take you to Kirinyaga County. Schools and members of a community in Mwea East Sub-County, Kirinyaga County, have had a sigh of relief from acute water shortage following the rehabilitation of stalled water boreholes in the area. Now, speaking during the commissioning of Kenya Seed Company, Chairperson Wangui Ngeresh said at least 4 institutions have benefited, calling on the national government and Kirinyaga County government to implement sustainable water programs to address the perennial shortages in the area.
Maji hakuna, hata canals hazina maji, si ndio? Sasa watu wa Kirinyaga, vile mngekuwa mnaomba kama mahali kwingine vile kunawekwa water pans, tunaomba mahali kama hapa Dindiroku every 3-4 farms tunawekewa water pan sababu ya maji.
Hiyo borehole imepunguzia watoto mzigo wa kwenda kutafuta maji kwingine, na yale masaa watoto walikuwa wanatumia kwenda kutafuta maji kwingine na kuleta maji kutoka nyumbani imewapunguzia. Sasa wanatumia hayo masaa kwa kuconcentrate kwa classrooms zao na class work activities.
katika upande wa maji watoto wanafurahia, hata si kama wazazi tunasherehekea kwa sababu yenyewe shule yetu iko poa sasa. We are very humbled and grateful because of kazi jema ambayo mmetufanyia kuturejeshea maji katika shule.
And now that story takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too fast, still so much more coming your way.
Halo, nani mwenzangu?
Yes, halo, jambo kiongozi. Unaongea na Simon na tumeona hii shamba yako iko na nafasi nzuri sana ya kuwekelea transformer. Na sisi tuko tayari kukupea 3 million Kenya shillings kama leasing fee.
When the deal is too good, think twice.
Lakini kitu moja inanishangaza na wewe.
Hii ni kuhatarisha maisha yenu nyi wenyewe na pia ya wale mnaenda kutokea kwa manyumba zao.
We are diving into the mind. Stay vigilant to get safely and legally connected to the power grid.
Hii imewapata na hatia na mkiwa mkuridhika na uamuzi wa koti mko na siku 14 za kurudisha apili.
Kenya Power hailipi mtu yoyote space ili kuweka transformers kwa shamba. Hakuna mtu anafaa kupigia for any deals.
Kwanza nakata hii simu na naripoti sasa.
Tumekuja kuwashika. Muda boss utamulikwa. Tumekuja kuwashika.
Every day, 16 women translating to 6,000 die from pregnancy and childbirth complications in Kenya.
We have some challenges of clients coming in late. They start even as late as second trimester to come to the clinics.
Maternal health in Kenya is still full of risks, and for many mothers, every day counts.
Our CHPO wakitembea wanakisha wamewafuatilia juu kila siku watakuuliza kila mwezi mnipee report.
So what we do is that for each and every mother who's in the program, by the 3rd trimester they are able to get a mama pack that has got a base and slippers, name it, everything that you'd want immediately that you get the baby.
This week on Health and Lifestyle, we focus on how early clinic attendance saves lives.
Ikibamba sana basi pull it up. Select a cheza dopa once from the top. Whoa. Dojo mabe, dojo mabe, dojo mabe. Iningine mwecheche. It's new, exciting and fun.
Nothing speaks to the heart more than good music. We are back. Fresh, better than before.
And of course, bringing you great mixes, gossip, interviews from your favorite artists, both local and international.
With me, Kalondu Musimi, the baddest in the game, you better say my name, baby.
And of course, your boy, Mr. Vibe Brito, the DJ.
You can only find these on
Club One Extra every Friday from 4:30 p.m.
Woo!
Welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Now, the Kenya Bureau of Standards Chairperson Chris Omalo says the standards body has rolled out a welding certification scheme in efforts to align local welding trainings with the best global practices and open up employment opportunities for local welders.
Kenya Bureau of Standards said the certification will ensure Kenyan welding professionals attain global recognition and tap into the immense job opportunities. The Kenya Bureau of Standards chairperson say accreditation of welding technicians is crucial for quality and safe structural developments in the country.
Na wengine wako half-baked. Na sasa hivi ukiangalia housing, which is a critical industry right now, unaona many buildings are collapsing. Watu wengi wanakufa. Na sisi kama KEBS tunaangalia mambo ya safety na quality.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards will collaborate with institutions of higher learning to issue the welding certification that will be valid for 3 years.
Kuna zile standards zenye kila country lazima i-attain. Uki-attain hiyo standard in terms of manpower, utapata kazi kila mahali.
The students who are certified have recognition for competence
welding, and this recognition is acceptable globally.
They were speaking during the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Kenya Bureau of Standards and the Kenya Industrial Training Institute on welders accreditation.
Market out there is looking for certified professionals. You can be a professional trained, but the accreditation that you'll be giving through this certification to welders will give the confidence to the market out there and also to the local employers.
Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, the last mile rural electrification project in Webuye West and Mount Elgon constituencies in Bungoma County has offered households a renewed hope for economic empowerment powered by a connection to the national grid. Our reporter Alan Aoko interacted with the residents about and how electricity is impacting their lives.
Our journey began in the foothills of Mount Elgon, a region where the air is crisp with the scent of wet soil and ripening coffee. Here, the landscape is a dramatic tapestry of rolling hills and steep valleys where farmers have for generations worked the fertile red soils by hand. These remote, lush green areas are the backbone of Bungoma's agriculture, with maize, beans and sweet potatoes on the slopes. Until now, the majestic beauty of these hills was shrouded in a heavy, silent darkness once evening fell.
Vile hii stima imekuja pamoja na familia yangu, wale wanafunzi ambao wako shuleni, naona watafanikiwa kwa sababu watakuwa wakisoma, hawatakuwa na upungufu wa mwangaza.
Tulikuwa tunakimbia huku na simu hadi tunapeleka sokoni kuchaji kila siku. Najua simu zingine asikai na moto sana.
The Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation is spearheading a transformative mission to bridge the gap between these underserved regions and the modern world. By treating energy as an essential infrastructural enabler, REREC is turning the page for thousands of residents who previously relied on traditional labor-intensive methods of living.
This particular scheme is going to connect about 45 households. This one alone. Yes. This one alone. But this is basically one of the projects we're doing. There are many.
In Kamachai village, Mount Elgon constituency, REREC has constructed a 1.6-kilometer low-voltage line and the establishment of a 25 kilovolt ampere transformer.
Na wananchi wa Webuye wamebaki kwa giza kwa muda mrefu sana, kwa miaka mingi sana. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio hatua ya kwanza katika hii safari ya kutoa giza.
Cameras do not give justice to the kind of terrain this place is when these engineers are trying to pull the poles into place in this mountainous area of Mount Elgon.
Here, REREC extended over 2.3 kilometers of low voltage lines that has connected 45 customers.
This is a typical classroom here in Mount Elgon, where students do bear with situations where they do not study with electricity. Now you can imagine the kind of social impact that comes with connection of electricity to aid the students to study even in places like this.
We know that it's a two-way traffic. It's the teacher, it's the parent. The learners will be assisted at home by the parents when this electricity will be available in their homes.
The impact is replicated in Sirwa village, Webuye West constituency, where REREC installed a 50 kilovolt ampere transformer and over 40 single-phase cables to serve 41 customers. In villages like Sirwa, reliable power will support new enterprises such as welding shops, salons and barber shops. The government is targeting to have every Kenyan connected by the year 2030. Alan Aoko, Mount Elgon constituency in Bungoma County.
No, that is Alan Aoko reporting from Bungoma County. Now, from that, we want to hold a small interview here on matters organizational leadership. In a few months, previous few months, the national, or rather NCIC, has been holding meetings to have a conversation about the conflict between the older and even the younger generation. And that is called intergenerational conflict. And that has also, maybe I have no idea, but going back to the organizations where you work from, is there a conflict between the old and even the young people working right where you are? Now, to help me discuss that matter is Evelyn Koki, organizational development and leadership expert. She's also executive coach and also an author. Now, Evelyn Koki, thank you so much for making time for Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
The question I asked,
yes,
is there conflict between the older and the younger generation where we work?
Yes.
In organizations?
Yes, absolutely. There is a serious conflict between these two generations because of where each is coming from. Each existed in a different reality, and it's something we've ignored for a while now, and we are reaping the results right now. Our older generation care about loyalty, care about institutional growth. The new generation I've seen, they don't care about corporate ladders anymore. They don't believe a corporate ladder exists. I've seen situations where someone's career just skyrockets. And so for you to come and give them rules of engagement that are not in their current reality, it's not going to work. And so we need to have those conversations. We need to bring them on the table and say, you know, this is your reality, this is our reality. We're not saying one is better than the other. We're just explaining the rationale behind the choices we made as an older generation to say, I am going to stick in one company for the rest of my life. And understand where they're coming from, where they don't care about houses. Most of them want to just travel the world and work from remotely. Understand where they're coming from. For them, loyalty and stability, it's not about being in one place all the time. It's about having the freedom to travel, to experience life, to socialize. And so understanding these two diverse realities will bring us to the table and have a conversation where we can all agree and move forward on how to grow as leaders and as organizations.
In that case, somebody needs to change. Either the organization changes how it works, or the old generation changes how it works, or the younger generation adapts to how things have been in the previous years.
Yes.
Who changes?
That's a very good question. We've written a book called Navigating Change. And in this book, we've articulated the why behind every change. Before we get them to change it, before we change ourselves, we have to understand what change is all about. Change is not physical. Most of the time we think, I can tell you, change this, change your tie, and you just change your tie. But there's something about blue that, you know, brings you, or you feel it brings out the color of your eyes or something. There's a reason you chose blue, or there's a reason you choose blue. So understanding why some of these changes, why we do what we do, helps the change become easier. Now, for who changes first and who adapts, it's a very complex conversation.
Someone has to change.
Someone has to change, or each has to give.
Or the rules have to change.
We can redefine the new normal.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are. We are in a bridge where we all have to forget how things have, not forget really, get the lessons from how things have worked in the past, be very clear on our reality, which is things are different. The old way is not working. We don't know what's a new way is working. We are in a neutral zone where we both can collaborate and create a new normal that accommodates all generations in an organization.
In the previous years,
yes,
our bosses used to send memos printed on hard paper.
Yes.
And then it moved to emails. And then it's emails no more.
Yes.
It's WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I like how the ruling by the High Court the other day ruled that WhatsApp can be used to hold official meetings.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And in fact, it ruled that a lady who was, removed from a WhatsApp group, that that was some sort of discrimination, some sort of, they went out of their way to discriminate against this lady.
Yes.
Because that platform, WhatsApp platform, is an official platform for the organization.
Yes.
Things have changed to that level.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the organizations have been, been forced to change, and even the older generation has been forced to change.
Yes.
And now they are communicating to us via WhatsApp. This is a good thing, right?
Yes, it is. And just to go back to that story of that lady, people forget that been discriminated against. It's psychological torture. It's painful to your brain because you feel like you've been excluded. It's literally like being excluded physically, because we all love a sense of belonging. So when you take that away from someone, you create an emotional torture. And yes, I agree with that ruling from a psychological point of view. And yes, now things have changed. We have WhatsApp, yes, like you're saying, now it's an official channel of communication. You excluding me from that, you are communicating that I'm no longer needed in this organization. Or yeah, it's a form of discrimination, and I'm agreeing with the ruling of the High Court.
There's something interesting you said about the Gen Zs, or the younger generation, about they really do not care about who is the boss and who is not. They care about, delivery.
Yes.
How do I do my work, and how do I deliver on an assignment? But do you think the older generation is buying that idea? Because, for lack of a better word, there's some bosses who wants to remain bosses, and you understand what I'm saying. And sometimes they find a conflict arises where they think maybe these young Gen Zs are some sort of being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Have you found something like that in your area?
Yes, all the time, and it's because we love judging as human. It's very easy to look at you and say and judge you on a behavior or something you're doing. It's very hard for me to try and understand where you're coming from. If we could all just ask why. Why are the Gen Zs behaving the way they are? They will explain why they're doing that, and we will understand. It has nothing to do with disloyalty or disrespect. It's what for them performance means. For them, performance is delivering on, like you've said, delivering on the deliverables I have. It shouldn't matter if I'm here at 8 and I leave at 5, as long as I can work overnight and deliver. That should be enough for you. And now when you, from your past experiences, because you've been conditioned to come to work 8 to 5, and we're not saying that's bad, it's just, that is your reality. But for them, it's totally different. So how do we reconcile these two without having been open enough and vulnerable to share our experiences and to have a discussion and to understand where each is coming from, and forget about what has worked and how things have been done in the past, and agree this is our reality right now. And if we don't do that, we're going to lose one generation, and then who is going to take after us? Yeah.
I also understand, because I've worked with young people.
Yes.
Not saying I'm old, but the young people, like younger than me, they want to come to work not for very many hours, but past 3, past 4,
they're done.
These people, they're done. Yeah. They want to go home. And the bosses are like, what? Yeah. It's not yet even 5. Yes. Where are you going? There's something called flex.
Yes.
In terms of how organizations work.
Yes.
The others will come in the evening, the others will come in the morning,
yes.
Others will maybe choose to work at night. It doesn't matter what time you work.
Yes.
But organizations, I think, in Kenya, apart from maybe a very few in the private sector,
yes.
they've not been able to buy into this flexing idea. Do you think it's that time?
It's about time, because we're all different personalities. I am a night person. I may not work in the morning, but give me some work, I'll go past midnight and I'll deliver it. Now, you're forcing me to come to work at 8 or 7, and when I know I'm not very productive, but I know I can be productive at night and deliver on what you need. I think it's about time we agreed we need to bring the personality bit at work. We need to have an alignment of personality and job description, so that everyone feels like they're in the right place and they're able to deliver according to who they are. We're not the same. And forcing us to fit in a mold, everyone to fit in a specific mold, has been our greatest undoing. And I love us ask you a question. I've worked in an organization, and I am sure I was not productive 8 to 5.
Yeah.
There were many hours in between. I was busy on Facebook and social media. It's just that the Gen Zs now don't know how to pretend. They're telling us to our faces. Yes, they're telling us to our faces. There's no point of me sitting here pretending to work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I can go and do something else, and then if I am able to work at night, go at night and do whatever you needed me to do, and still be able to deliver on what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Yes. Koki, unfortunately, time is not on our side. Maybe 10 seconds, your last words about what you found, what you've discovered about organization, especially in Kenya.
One of the main thing as organizational development consultant and leadership consultant is I've realized we only get results in the level of how we've worked on ourselves. Let me explain. Like, you understand yourself to the extent that where you know, this is how I work, this is how best I deliver, these are the people I need around me to cover my weaknesses and reinforce my strengths. And when you have that self-awareness, you bring it to your team.
Yeah.
And if you do that, this problem we're having of intergeneration will not exist, because I've understood myself. I'll be willing to understand you and extend the same courtesy of saying, let me hear who you are. Let me see how and where we can fix you for you to be productive optimally. Yes, and be able to deliver.
Evelyn Koki, organizational development and leadership consultant, also executive coach and author. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure. Now, Senior Counsel Charles Kanjama is the new president of the Law Society of Kenya, becoming the 52nd leader since the inception of LSK. Now, Kanjama emerged the winner in a hotly contested race after garnering 3,728 votes. Peter Wanyama came second with 2,616 votes, while immediate former Vice President Mwaura Kafata was third with 2,086 votes. Take a look.
Thursday, and advocates across the country put their busy schedules aside to exercise their civic rights by electing the new leadership of the Law Society of Kenya.
We want public-spirited leaders who will truly assist the Kenyan society on returning the country back to the rule of law.
Eventually, Senior Counsel Charles Kanjama was declared the new president after defeating Peter Wanyama and Mwaura Kafata.
Odhiambo has left. Faith Odhiambo surprised many. I think she has exhibited very strong leadership, very independent, and not indeed intimidated by the executive or by any institutions.
Teresia Wavinya Nicholas was elected the vice president.
Sheria za kulinda taifa, za kuangalia matumizi ya mabaya ya fedha za serikali, ya kuangalia kwamba sheria, the rule of law, inafuatwa.
Kanjama takes over from Faith Odhiambo, and his term runs from 2026 to 2028, since the LSK constitution gives only one term of 2 years for the presidency.
This is the profession that is supposed to set this country on constitution-fearing side.
Transition arrangements will be announced by the outgoing president in accordance with the constitution of LSK. As the country heads to the 2027 general election, the LSK leadership is expected to play a critical role in governance as well as shaping legal practice and policy in Kenya.
Even how the IBC conducts these elections, it already is going to be appointed, because, you know, we have a new IBC chair and a new commission. So how they behave in this smaller elections, smaller than the general election, are going to show how they are going to behave in 2027.
Ruth Wamboi for Lunchtime News.
All right, it's time for sports, so let's get sporty. Now, two-time African rally champion Karan Patel has intensified preparations for the 2026 WRC Safari Rally Kenya after testing his Skoda Fabi R5 at Stony Ardhi with his co-driver Tusif Khan. Patel, who was compete in the WRC2 class against some of the world's finest rally talents, says the Safari Rally is the most unforgiving rally, stressing the importance of reliability, consistency, and smart driving across 20 demanding stages, covering 350 kilometers. He said the Stony Ardhi test allowed them to fine-tune their suspension, braking points, and overall balance of the car in readiness for the rally slated for the 12th of next month in Naivasha. The entry list features global heavyweights, including Sebastian Ogier, Thierry Neville, and current leader Flynn Evans. The KCB-sponsored Karan Patel joins a strong regional contingent aiming to impress on home soil.
At the location we're at, so yeah, looking forward to, a successful safari rally this time around.
Okay, we just finished our test, preparing for WRC. It's been a good day. The test went well. We made a few notes with Karan today for a change, had some fun.
Now, the second leg of Kenya Volleyball Federation Men's League burst into life with a string of high-intensity matches, 5-set dramas and commanding performances as the teams resumed the battle for supremacy. Now, Kenya Army overpowered NYS by 3-1 at the Kasarani Indoor Arena, one of the second leg matches, as Frederick Moki reports.
Kenya Army Volleyball Club began their campaign with a 3-1 set victory over National Youth Service, claiming a 25-17, 25-23, 21-25, 25-22 sets win. Trailblazers bounced back from a first-set setback to defeat Rift Valley Prisons Volleyball Club by 3-1 of 25-27, 25-22, 25-13 and 25-14. In other results, Kenya Ports Authority sent a strong message with a straight set victory over Nairobi Prisons of 25-14, 25-15, 25-20 as Equity Bank edged Eldoret Water Volleyball Club by 3-1 of 25-14, 27-25, 22-25 and 25-18 in a tightly contested encounter. Frederick Moki for Lunchtime News.
And I want to take you straight to Karen here in Nairobi, where Magical Kenya tournament is ongoing. Of course, it started yesterday, and we link up with our very own Daniel Wahome. Daniel Wahome, what's the latest?
Thank you very much. Give us online back at Broadcasting House. We are at the Current Country Club, which is hosting the 57th edition of the Magical Kenya Open. It is day 2, and this is a very critical day because from a field of 144, just about 60 golfers or so will remain. And how's that going? And just to give us a whole feel of what the tournament has been for the 1.5 days of play so far, I've got the tournament director and also a former Kenya Golf Union chairman, Lucas Maranga, and TD, let's first talk about your overall take of the first day. A par 70 course and 8 under for overnight lead. The quality you've seen.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to Karen. The course has been very good because we've had rain the last couple of days. But the funny thing is, before this tournament began, it was very dry, as you know. And so the course was different. When it rains, the course becomes like a different course altogether. But somehow, to you and I, who play golf as amateurs, you can think, oh, I want when it's dry because the ball can't roll. These are precision golfers. That's why they are pros in the first place. So I think these conditions of a course that's a bit wet, if I may use that word, is better than what was there before. So good golf for sure. Everyone's putting out their game. Yesterday is when we began. Today is critical because, as you mentioned, we make the cut. Tomorrow about half the number go through. And anyone who makes the cut tomorrow is in the money. So the fight has been quite intense. But we've had some good shots and some magic moves around the course today.
Looking at the live leaderboard as we speak, we are talking about a projected cut of -3 under, which is quite a high, quite a very score. Yeah. Looking at it, 60 is the number. How much more would you go into ties if they are 60, say 63, 65?
Yeah. Well, you can never tell. Ties, golf has that one element that you can't almost plan for or predict. You could have an outright winner, or you could have someone who is neck to neck with someone, but maybe by the end of the day tomorrow, we'll be able to have that inclination of who it will be and if there'll be a tie or not. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Tournament director, he's got to do a lot of work around this tournament. So we'll be giving you the updates even as we get into our later bulletins. My name is Daniel Wahome at the Current Country Club. Back to you. Give us a minor Broadcasting House.
Oh, thank you, Daniel Wahome, for that report. And that's where we end our lunchtime news on KBC Channel 1 live from the Broadcasting House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. And on behalf of everybody who made this newscast possible, we say thank you for watching. See you again tomorrow. Same place, same time.
Every day, 16 women, translating to 6,000, die from pregnancy and childbirth complications in Kenya.
We have some challenges of